A part of a food web from an ecosystem is shown below. If the monitor lizards die off, what effect would this have on the ecosystem? So before we jump to these answer choices, let's identify what the question is. They're saying, if the monitor lizard dies off, what effect would this have on the ecosystem? That's the question we want to make sure we're answering. Whenever we get lost, we always just come back to what is the question. Now, you might notice something interesting about this particular food web. It almost looks like two separate food webs, which makes sense because they told us this is just part of a larger food web. So maybe it's kind of zoomed in, so it looks like they're not attached, all right? But that doesn't really need to trip us up for any reason. All we got to do is just follow the arrows and know that the arrow goes from the food to the thing that eats it. So let's break this down. If the monitor lizards, as it says, die off, okay, so if these guys die off, well, what's going to happen? Well, certainly they're not going to be eating these harpy eagle eggs, okay? And let's go through these one by one. It says there would be an increase in the eagle population. I agree with that because there's going to be more eagles hatching because they're not being eaten, which would cause an increase in the marten population. Well, I don't agree with that because if there's more eagles, they're going to eat more of these martens. So that first part sounded good, but that second part made it incorrect. So that's not right. Let's go to the next one. There would be an increase in the number of harpy eagle eggs. Again, we stated that that definitely makes sense. Less monitor lizards eating the eggs, so that there's going to be more hatching that grow up to be harpy eagles. But the marten population would not be affected. Also not true, because certainly the harpy eagles need food, and if there's more of them, they're going to be eating more martens as well as mice. So they're definitely going to be affected. The marten population would decrease. Next, there would be a decrease in the harpy eagle population, which would lead to a decrease in the grass population. Definitely not. If there's more eggs, there's going to be more hatching harpy eagles. So that one can't be true. There would be an increase in the harpy eagle population. We've already established that that does make sense. What about this second part, which would lead to a decrease in both the marten and the mouse population. We see that the harpy eagles, if their population increases, that'll lead to more deaths in the population of martens and more deaths in the population of mice, which will cause these two populations of the marten and the mouse to decrease. So this is definitely correct. But of course, we're going to check this last one too. That's always just a good practice. There would be an increase in the population of harpy eagles. Sounds good so far. And a decrease in the grass population. Now let's check that out. Well, if the harpy eagles increase, there will be less mice, which would mean there would actually be even more grass. So this would not be true. Now, one may point out that there will also be less martens eating the mice. But for us to make the assertion that there's going to be a decrease in the grass, there's not enough information for us to make that claim. But for this one, there certainly is.